Yo. It's your boy Mark Spark, and this is another edition of the Mark Spark Show. Welcome. It's an extremely hot day. I hope everybody is staying cool on this hot day. So we're gonna get into it. So it's been a crazy year as far as like everything that's going on in my city. And, certain stories I won't speak on, certain stories I will speak on because I don't have all the time in the world. But I was watching the news and I came across a story that I wanted to speak on it because I feel like this could be a teachable moment. And I feel like it's layers, it's kind of deep because there's layers to that story. So we're going to get into it. We're going to jump right into it. We ain't going to waste no time today. So this is what it is. I saw this story. It was about a gentleman and his nephew. It was about a guy named Anthony Sanford, and his nephew was Oliver Sanford. These gentlemen were allegedly running like some kind of gun ring or something like that. And they were selling guns to officer, and they sold this officer guns like 22 times. And I guess in 2021 there was a whole nother separate like investigation going on into some other alleged arms dealer named Jonathan Harris, I believe. And they were doing this investigation, but these people ended up like connecting to each other and being linked to some other arms like dealer, like some, I guess, a collector that sells arms in like the gun shows. So allegedly, so his name was Richard Harris, I believe. Was it Richard Harris or yeah, it was Richard Harris, I believe. And Richard Harris, he was like had another person that he was dealing with along with the Sanfords. It was another gentleman by the name of Thomas Parsley. So Thomas Parsley ends up getting stopped by the police after like he's going to pick up from Harris, which is an older gentleman. This gentleman is like 70 years old. The guy from the gun shows that sells his guns illegally, that he acquires from the gun shows allegedly. So the Parsley dude is scheduled to pick up guns from this guy. He gets stopped, and I guess he must have cooperated with the authorities or something, because from there they, grabbed the old man, and now all of them are all like linked to each other, and they all facing all kind of charges. And it's just an interesting story because, first off, we don't need any more guns in our communities. I just want to say that, like, we don't really need guns like illegally. We don't need no more illegal guns in our community. Let me rephrase that. We don't need any more illegal guns in our community. Now they're making it so we can legally, acquire licensing to get whatever it is you need to get. So we don't need illegal guns in our communities right now. We don't need any more like straight bullets hitting little kids. We don't need that type of stuff. And I just feel like that kind of stuff, it makes like law-abiding like citizens that want to get licenses to have guns and stuff, it makes it harder for us because it scares people. They think that everyone's irresponsible with how they handle firearms, and it's not necessarily the case. So what I'll say is it's unfortunate, and even in these cases you can learn from these people, and you got to be careful who you're dealing with, because when you're doing stuff like that, whoever you're dealing with, if they get caught up, you have to hear me on this. if you whoever you dealing with, when they get caught up, they're gonna take the Ti route. So you're gonna, you know what I mean? When you dealing with those kind of weapons and stuff like that, like, you know, no, I shouldn't even say Ti route because we don't. People say he did that. I don't know, but a lot of times, like when you dealing with people buying guns and they get caught up like that, and they facing that kind of time, like they're usually bringing each other down. That's just the truth. And not only that, like I said earlier, we don't really need. We need some sort of way to like handle our issues at times because we don't necessarily always have to resort to like gun violence. And I feel like at times it could be like a simple squabble, like it could be a simple fight, it could be whatever. And it's like we need less. I ain't gonna say we need less guns because we do need protection because there's other threats as well, not just your neighbors. There's, you know what I mean, a whole nother discussion that can be had where a lot of people feel like we're headed to war, like a civil war or something. So to be at war amongst ourselves would be crazy. But you know, it it's a sensitive topic. Only thing I can really say is like if you want to have guns, I suggest you do go about doing it the right way because it really doesn't make no sense. Now they facing like conspiracy charges amongst like firearms charges, and that's like that could range like whatever they're facing. It could range from different. We don't know what they might get for that, so it's like yeah, like it's not something I would want to subject my family or myself to at this point in my life. Like unless you're in a situation where you have to go to jail, like it's something, you know what I mean? It's just not. It's not a good look to put yourself in certain situations at certain points in your life. It's just like, but um the person that ends up missing out the most in this is these people's family that's gonna be missing them while they in jail, and it's for a couple extra dollars. Like there's so much ways to get money now too. It's like, if you got drive, you got hustle to you, you got determination. It's just like so many ways. Like it's so much ways to get money. Like I'll never grasp that concept of like, when you get to a certain age of like knowing better and not doing better. Like I'll never really understand it because it's like for me, like I'm at a certain point in my life now. It's like I could look back on certain things and be like, man, I was dumb, or man, I'm lucky. Like I'm blessed. I'm so blessed because I could have been in just bad situations, and I persevered through that, and I'm here. And it's like a lot of people that I grew up with, they not. So it's like, I don't want to waste my opportunities, and that's why like I try to tell some of my peers, some of the people I know, I try to tell these people like you can't waste opportunity because you might not ever get that opportunity again. And it's like when you make, it could be one bad decision in life, one bad decision could change the whole trajectory of where you going. Like you could have been headed to the top, and then one bad decision that should have landed you in jail for the rest of your life. Like you around a bunch of smelly ass niggas for the rest of your life. Like who would want to do that? Like, or even if it's for an extended amount of time, like to be away from home, like to be away from shorty, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yo, that shit crazy. Like, yo, like I'm the type of person, like I won't see shorty for a few days and I'll be already missing her. Like, yo, I want to see shorty. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine like going fucking to jail, like around a bunch of niggas. Like you can never, like, nah, like that's crazy. Like, I mean, for dollars. I mean, obviously, if you starving and this is the only thing you got to do and it's like nothing else in the world, I could get it. Like, cause I got a son. Like, when you gotta feed them kids, I get it. But the way the society that we live in today, like it's just so many ways to get money. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to be broke. Like, there's no real excuse except for like you have like a lazy or a bum mentality. I believe there's no like excuse to like, you know what I mean? Like, cause yo, if you from the hood, right? Even crackheads, like you look at crackheads, they turn into like entrepreneurs to get their fix. Like I seen crackheads start up miniature businesses, fucking car washes, do all type of shit to make sure that they and not even nothing illegal. I ain't even talking about the ones that steal. I'm talking about the crackheads that be innovative. You know what I'm saying? And they come out with some shit. Like they'll come out with a whole little illegitimate business and like you know what I'm saying, feed their habit. And it's like, you know, if they can find a way to get money, then I don't understand how regular people be like they be broke and complaining, and it just be like, nah, like you gotta get some hustle to you, you gotta get some drive. But you don't gotta like take penitentiary chances. Like you really don't. And like I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna be there to show the world, like, yo, you don't gotta take penitentiary chances, and you can still make this shit look good, and you can still be cool. You could be just as cool as the fucking drug dealers without selling drugs. Look just as good as these niggas, or even better, without even like taking penitentiary chances. So I make that shit look good. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit, bro. Like, you know. So yeah, like it's sad. Like it's sad when certain situations like that occur where you have somebody's uncle, you know, you have an uncle with his nephew. He's dragging his nephew into like a negative like situation. Ah, this nigga gonna have to call me back. Uh, Sorry about that. People calling me and stuff while I'm trying to like. But like I was saying, I'm gonna be the guy to show you that you don't gotta take penitentiary chances. You don't gotta do all of that like to make it. You don't gotta do all of that to like, yeah, you could be on the same level or even surpass niggas that be doing shit like that and still make it look good. And you still ain't gotta be a square. You could still be cool and not, know what I mean, do all that bullshit. Like you don't gotta, you know what I mean? You could be yourself and be cool. That's what it is. Like, and you could keep it cultivating. You know what I mean? And keep on cultivating. Keep on keeping it cultivating. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. But yeah, like that's what we about. Like I'm here to uplift you. I'm never here to lie to nobody. I'm never here to feed you no false, you know what I mean, pipe dreams or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like I'm here to tell it how it is. And you know, over here, like I just want to reach the youth because I feel like we headed in a dangerous like direction, and you know, you need each other. Like we can't kill the village. It take a village to raise these kids. We can't kill the village. You know what I mean? The village ain't your ops. Like these is not your ops. Like it's crazy. We don't need like, and that's why I shout out to like Styles P and like, you know, his whole movement with the juice bars. Like he's trying to bring health to the hood and shit like that. Like that shit like that you need. You know what I'm saying? We need that. Things that could preserve our life and our life form and our culture. Like that's what we need. You know what I mean? We don't need more destruction. Like you don't need shit. Like we need a way of communication, a way to communicate with each other. Cause the truth is, like us as black people, we still suffering from the after effects of slavery. So we still trying to get that shit right. You know what I mean? We still trying to get it right. So we might have anger problems or whatever. You know what I mean? Our ancestors was enslaved for over 400 years, and we still, you know what I mean? Although we have it a lot better than they did, but we still feeling the effects of it. A lot of them systems are still in place. So a lot of our anger is misguided and directed toward each other. But you know what I mean? Eventually, I think we're gonna get it together. But we don't need guns and all that shit for each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? We shouldn't need all of that to deal with each other. Like, and I know that like our community, like us as a community, is non-existent. Like, we don't have like an actual black community or whatever, you know. And I get that. And there's no leadership, so you know it takes us as individuals to lead by example. And I'm okay being that example for the youngsters. Like, yo, you ain't gotta do that shit. Like, you ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta go. Like, his uncle should have been telling him, yo, not to do these things. Like, yo, you ain't gotta like do this with me, Neff. Like, I would never do nothing illegal with my nephew. You know what I'm saying? Like, my sister probably would probably fuck me up. Like, crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never do nothing illegal with my nephew. So it's just like, it's just crazy. But certain people are different, you know what I mean? And you know, I really hope that his family, I hope that all the families, because even families of victims from guns that they probably brought into the community are probably mourning as well. So you gotta always look at that too and take that into consideration. It's not all about like just the players involved. Like, there's layers, and like there's layers to that shit, and there's families affected by these acts and by all of this type of stuff. So it's like, you know, it's just sad. It just, you know, could be a real learning and talking point, you know what I mean, and a teaching point for the youth. Like, hey man, you know, we gotta get to a point where we shouldn't feel like we need guns for each other. Like, you know, and then when there's not a need for it, then you won't have people trying to traffic that shit into our communities. But as long as there's a demand for it, then people gonna, you know what I mean, even if it's not the Sanfords, it is gonna be somebody else. So it's like, we just gotta get it together and come to some sort of like real conflict resolution and way of dealing with each other, and not hating oneself, because it's like you hate yourself if you hate your brother. So it's like, we gotta come to some sort of, you know, some sort of ground area, you know, where we feel we don't need these things. But because we live in dangerous areas and dangerous times, a lot of people feel like they need protection, and they don't have either the funds or the means to go get the licensing either. So there's gonna be that element where there's people that always are gonna buy shit illegally because they can acquire it easier, where they don't have to do a background check or do certain things, you know what I mean, or have to wait. Because I know in certain states where they have it legally, like, you can't pick up the gun the same day. Like, you gotta purchase it and all that, and then come back in like 10 days or something, and then pick up the gun, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, people don't want to deal with situations like that. They're gonna buy that shit illegally. So it's just something that the government, they're gonna have to do better. They're gonna have to come out with some sort of like solution to these problems, because it's gonna always exist. Like, there's, until they do right, until the government does right, there's always gonna be a black market for things. And that's the same shit I said about like marijuana, or like anything for that matter. Like cigarettes, marijuana, anything. There's always gonna be some kind of black market until the government gets that shit right on their end. Because people gonna want to save their money, you know what I mean? But in saving your money, you put yourself at risk as well of, you know what I mean, these type of situations. So it's like, you better off at the end of the day doing it the right way and doing things, you know what I mean, in a legal manner. So, you know, in order for you to keep it cultivating and not worry about having them people on your back, like, yeah, you gotta do things in a legal manner, y'all. Like, and yeah, you still could do shit in a legal manner and not be a square. You could still be cool. So, you know, I'm gonna be the one to show y'all that. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode. For the episode of Weirdish, this is gonna be like a half and half, you know what I mean, for this segment of Weirdish. Cause I have to give it to Anthony Sanford for bringing in his nephew Oliver. You know what I mean? Allegedly. Like, bro, you're mad fucking weird. Like, you're his uncle. You supposed to be showing son the right. But even though that y'all all are grown men, but still, you his uncle. You know what I mean? So for that, my friend, you're fucking weird. And yeah, man, that's all I got to say. So the merch next week, we gonna have some new drops on the site. You know what I mean? We still got the Migrant Workers tees. We still got the Keep It Cultivating podcast tees. We still got all of that. So yeah, y'all might want to check that out. For booking, y'all might want to get at me, and I'll get back to you in the timeliest fashion possible. Cause right now my schedule is getting booked. So yeah, I'm pretty busy. So for booking or for anything, hit me, like, and I'll get back to you. We work something out. Like, I'll work you into my schedule. Cause yeah, we gonna be doing a lot. We putting in a lot of work. It's migrant workers. You know what I'm saying? It's migrant workers. We working. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I gotta go because I'm already late. And yeah, y'all keep it cultivating. Peace.